Hello, my name is Richard Berkeley. I've put together a series of talks which I've entitled Helpful Hints for Public Speakers, which I hope you will make use of. I spend a lot of time working with young people who work in offices, environments a little bit like this environment we're in now. And one of the things I've discovered is that people very often lose connection with themselves. And what do I mean by that? I mean, they forget that they inhabit a body, a living organism, an organism that needs attention, an organism that wasn't actually designed for long hours in this sort of workspace. Now, you may think this doesn't really matter, but actually it does, because there are repercussions, particularly when we come to communicate with other people. Now, what is our main means of communication? You might say our voice, and that's true. We use language, don't we? Unless you're typing away on a word processor or a computer. There's another way that we communicate, and that's through what is known loosely as our body language, the way our body speaks, the messages it gives. And some of these messages are deliberate, like that. Some are subliminal, which we're not even aware of. Now, what matters is the relationship that we have with this body, this thing we inhabit. And how do we have a relationship with the thing we inhabit? Well, nature hasn't been very helpful, because it's put our brain up here and our mouth here, and so connecting with the rest of our body is not too easy. In fact, sometimes you might think, well, why do I need a body at all when I have everything up here? But we have, and we do have to connect with it, because the way we connect with our own bodies reflects and influences the way people relate to us, the way people read us, the impression we make on other people. Now, when I'm dealing with people in coaching or training, the first thing I say to them is, I say, will you take a deep breath? And you know what usually happens, and I expect you sitting wherever you are, if you try this, you'll do the same thing. If on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, you take a deep breath, just like this, 1, 2, 3, you probably inflate your upper chest. And you think, that's the way we take a deep breath. But it's not. That actually is not the way we breathe. Well, does it matter how we breathe? Yes, it does. And it matters because the way we breathe gives those profound messages to other people. We breathe down here. And I'm quite fat, so you'll be able to see how we breathe in a moment. Watch. We expand the ribs. They go like that. They don't pull up. The stomach gets fatter and thinner as we breathe out. It doesn't happen up here. So how do we connect with these muscles down here? Well, actually, that's a very good question, because it's hard for us to connect with these muscles down here because we contract, and we contract to defend ourselves, which means that all these muscles down here, which we should be using for breathing, get locked. And we breathe in the upper chest, particularly if we're sitting at our computer like this 8 hours a day. We're breathing in the upper chest. So how do we connect with these muscles down here? Well, we do it when we go to the lavatory, or the toilet, some of you may call it. But there's another way. We can put our finger on our sternum. Try it. Put your finger on your sternum. That's where it comes together. The bones come together here in the middle. And it's a bit sore if you press it hard. And take a deep breath below this point. You see, nothing happens up here. Nothing happens at all. Except the ribs move slightly and the stomach gets fatter. That's the way we breathe. Now, do you ever meet someone and you think, oh, that person really, I feel uncomfortable with that person? It might be because they're quite tense, they're quite stressed, and they're not breathing naturally. Well, the way somebody breathes affects us, the people they meet. So if we want to create a good relationship with somebody, we have to begin first of all by relating to ourselves, by learning how to breathe in the parts of the body that were designed for the breathing process, not the ones we've become used to using. Now, let me ask you a question. Where where does the breathing process begin? I know what you're going to say. It begins with the thought, and that's absolutely true, with the thought. But what are the first muscles to react if you're breathing properly? Where are they, do you think? Not here, but between your legs. Right down there. No, they don't. I can hear you saying, when I breathe up here. No, you breathe down here if you're breathing properly. So we have to get our minds right down to this point. We have to rehabilitate a part of our body. And that's the lesson I'm going to leave you with. Now, why is this important? If we don't breathe properly, we don't communicate properly. The breath we use drives our voices. Our voice runs through air. It travels through air. Our messages arrive through air, oscillating. If that air is not oscillating properly, we don't get our message. Our message doesn't arrive. So we have to learn where the energy comes from to drive the voice. But if we learn to breathe diaphragmatically, we lower our stress level. We become more in control of our emotions. We're calmer. So if you have to make presentations to clients or to hundreds of thousands of people, it makes no difference. If you can remain centered, connected with your center, then the stress is minimized. And that surely is something we want to do, isn't it? That's it for today. See you next time.